So Finley, do you want to hear the story about how your mama was born? Okay. Okay, it was a really fun story because I was pretty old when I married your grandpa. Did you know that? And he'd been married once before, and I really, really, really wanted to have children. But he was really happy. He liked Jenny. That was one child. He thought that was enough children. And so I said to him I wasn't going to get married unless he wanted to have children, because I was not interested in having a fight with people about having children or not. And you know what? He decided, yeah, he wanted children. So I married him, and we worked at it. And I was working at a job where I really had to work, and I had a lot of people who worked for me, and it was just all that sort of stuff. So after we got married, I was like working to get a lot of things done so that everything would all be tidy when I left and went on maternity leave. And I was working, and oops, lo and behold, I got pregnant almost right away. And I kept working and doing all the stuff, and your grandpa was so excited to have another baby. You can tell he likes babies. You know that. You watch your grandpa with babies, he's totally absorbed in them. Just like he's totally absorbed in his grandkids. He likes all of his grandkids a lot. Anyway, Grandpa was all excited. I was trying to get everything cleaned up and ready to go so we could have this baby. It would be all good, and I was working really hard. And one night, I got up and twisted around, and ooh, I felt this sort of breaking loose, and ooh, I was leaking water. I thought, ooh, I wonder what this means. I didn't have any pains. I was doing okay. I thought, I'll just go to work, and I'll finish up all the stuff I have to do and whatever, and I'll go to the doctor afterwards. So I did. I went and did my meetings. I did all this stuff. I was walking around doing whatever. And then after all my meetings were over, I called my doctor's office, and they said, Dr. Seegers isn't in today, but another doctor is here. And I said, well, I want to go in and make sure I'm going to be okay. So I went in and whatever, and he examined me, and he looked at me and he said, you've been a very bad girl. I didn't like that. I was not used to people telling me I was a bad girl. I was a really, really hardworking girl, and I thought I was a really good girl. Anyway, he went on and on about how I might as well just go home now and call everybody and tell them I was going to have a baby because your mama was coming early. She was born way before she was supposed to be. You were born early too. As a matter of fact, you were born a lot like she was. Did you know that? Yeah. She didn't know she was going to have a C-section before you were born either. But she did. That was fun. Anyway, I went home, and I decided I wasn't going back to the hospital. I didn't have any labor pains. I wasn't going back to the hospital because Dr. Seegers was off that day until after midnight. And I said, it'll save money because I'll save a day of being charged hospital bills. Not what you should be worrying about when you're having a baby. But anyway, after midnight, we called everybody we knew and said, we're having a baby. And then after midnight, we went into Holland Hospital, and Dr. Seegers still wasn't there. He was on call, but they stuck me with that doctor I didn't like. And he kept coming in and looking at me, and whatever, and I just was like really sad about the whole thing. Anyway, I started having labor pains. And they said, see, that's good. It's all good. But I was really sort of calm, and they said, well, you're obviously fine. We'll just let you go for a while. And then they put the little machine on me to measure how intense the pain was. And I can still remember when that needle went all the way over, the doctor said, are you insensitive to pain? Because this is not good news. And they went and looked at it, and they said, we're going to have to rush in and give you a C-section. And I said, I want Dr. Seegers to be my doctor. And so they calmed me down, and they called Dr. Seegers, and he came in, and that's when I went up to the operating room to go have a C-section. But I was awake during the whole time. They just put a little block in me. I was awake, and they sort of barely got us. Your grandpa wasn't even in his hospital gown, and they were already pulling that baby right out of me. And she's this little tiny thing all twisted up and happy and cheery and all with a really round face because she didn't get, I think she just couldn't get out. She was just pushing with her head. She couldn't get out. She came out and she cried and she was there, and I was exhausted. So your grandpa grabbed her and held her, and he was going on and on about her, and I fell asleep. And we were just so happy to have that baby. We didn't give her a name yet. By the time we left the hospital, you know what we called her? Do you know?
Baby Fisher.
Baby Fisher, that's right. Baby Fisher. And we decided we better get her a name pretty quick, or else we needed to put it on the birth certificate. And they were very confused about who that baby was, because remember, I kept my own name. I kept Kay Hubbard as my name, and I didn't ever change my name to Fisher. So at first they said that baby was Baby Hubbard. I said, no, Baby Fisher, that's her name. So it was very confusing for everybody, including me. But anyway, are you okay? But anyway, it was just so nice. So nice. We sat around, who should we name her? We don't want to name her a first name that's a common name, because Jenny already had a first name that was really, really common. We thought, we don't know who to name her after. We knew we were going to name her middle name Joanne, after Nana, you know. Her name was Joanne. So her middle name was going to be Joanne, but we didn't have a clue what we were going to name her for her first name. It was just so odd. And finally, we were watching Family Ties on TV. It was an old TV show, and the mama's name was Elise Keaton. And we loved that name, so we named her Elise Fisher. Isn't that nice? Elise Joanne Fisher. And your mama was the best baby, and your grandpa could hardly put her down. Sometimes, the only times I got to hold her was when she needed to eat, because I breastfed her all the time. She was a really, really wonderful baby for us. Just like you were a wonderful baby for your parents. They were happy to see you. Any questions? Are you sure? Okay, you're my sweetie. You remind me of her so much, too, when she was a little girl. I was looking at pictures of her when she was about your age. Oh my gosh, it's scary. You look so much like your mama. So much. The freckles especially.